All right. Shalom, 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 Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher, has made. And I, Sister Deborah, share, and I will rest therein. Coming with a short message. Let me not say it's going to be short. You know how that is when Sister Deborah say a short message. Let me tell you, I'm subject to be on here an hour, hour and a half, but I'm gonna try to make it short. Someone said something to me today, and they said it more than once. And the way that they were saying it is so that I can keep in mind what was said unto me. And they said, lawlessness. Do you see that's everywhere? Lawlessness. They sent me a couple of videos detailing what is actually going on in China. And not only China, they gave me a couple of videos that has to do with China and what they have been doing for quite some time. I think it's pretty much pulling the curtain open so people can see really what is going on pretty much everywhere. Because right now people are not understanding that everything is pretty much clearly seen. But where the mindsets of people are at is so far left as there is right. If there's a right, they weigh left. If there's a left, they weigh right. In their understanding, in their wisdom, in their knowledge, in their hearing, and in their beholding, which is their seeing. They so far apart. I believe that it's almost like revealing who's who and what's what. Because seeing these videos that took place over in China, it just brought back things that were said to me. Open, wide. I don't know why. I know it's starting to spin. And this is a little bit strange when I'm saying something about China. But like I was saying, it's like pulling the curtains back and letting people see everything clearly. And even in the process of seeing things so clear, I can behold people not seeing at all. Seeing is not seeing. Hearing is not hearing. You see? It's a seeing that a higher gives one in the spirit realm to be able to see not just the spiritual realm of something, but the natural realm. And that's when it starts from within out. What I see is what I'm able to behold. And when I say behold, it's because I feel that that's what the Father is suffering me to see. Not because of my flesh, but because of the spirit of who he is in me, in my spirit, allowed me to see these things. Now, I'm seeing people looking at everything in the natural, not being able to behold it in the spiritual. It is such a blessing when one is able to see it spiritual, then natural. But when one sees it natural before spirit, they really cannot see. They really cannot. Same thing with hearing. Once they hear it natural, it's not, they can't hear it spiritual. See, you have to hear everything from within. You have to see everything from within. and then it comes out to the natural realm. But when we think that the flesh lead us to the spirit, we're wrong. Remember what Yeshua said? He said, all that I have not lost one. All that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. You see? He's saying, all that you have assigned me in the spirit realm, I still have them all in the natural, right here before me. I have not lost one. You see? Because he was mission to have those 12. Even though he knew he had a betrayer, he still was not lost. You know why he wasn't lost? It's because Yeshua HaMashiach gave him what he gave the other 11. So there's no way he could have been lost. And and you know that he was lost, because you will see how all the things that he gave all the other 11 disciples, he gave it to the betrayer as well. You remember when he sent them out and gave them power to heal and cast out demons? Well, the betrayer was received that power too from Yeshua HaMashiach. So when he began to wash their feet, he washed the betrayer's feet. See what he's saying to the Father: in the spirit of your bosom, you gave me 12, and I have not lost one here on the earth. They still right here with me. From what? From the heavens, which is spiritual, to the natural, they still right here. I haven't lost one. Because everything has to come from the realm of the spirit to the natural, not the natural to the spirit. Because see, our flesh is not willing. Our flesh is always battling the spirit, because the spirit has a willing desire, but the flesh has a weak and wicked desire. It would keep the spirit man from anything righteous. It would try to. It would go up against anything that the spirit man desires or step into. But when the spirit from the inside tame the outside, then the outside got to stand down. Many things. That's why we are set free, even though we don't think that we are, because so many voices in the land tells us different. And most people listen to the voices in the land and not listen to the voices that's in the land. Let me say that again. Most people listen to the voices in the land and not listen to the voice in the land. Okay? That means they don't listen to the spiritual voice, but they listen to the voices in the land. It is what it is. Okay? So yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, I went over, how many did I do? I think I did 3 chapters and verses. Today, I'm going to cover the other 3. I want to cover these 3 chapters with these verses, because I just want to talk about these 3 chapters that has, and one is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Titus chapter 1, verse 10 through 11. Okay. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 8. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 8. And we're going to start with 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. And I got a little treat here, and I'm not going to talk about it right now. I want to go right into what I want to cover this evening. Okay, it's Acts. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. And it says, I think I'm going to go all the way down to 17. I might, let's just take it from 14 for right now. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Let me turn this way. And it reads, be ye not unequally yoked together. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communions has light with darkness? Now I want to discuss that. I want to take our time to discuss that. Now it's saying, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, with an S. For what fellowship, do you see the fellowship? What fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? The reason why I want to make sure I cover this is because it is said that we should not be unequal. We should not be unequal in the midst of those that are unequally yoked together. We shouldn't come together with those who are not believers. This is the thing I was saying, that it would be very hard for many people. It's going to be very hard. Even when that time comes and do take those that he is going to, that small remnant, he's going to consider the fact that within the individual who still feel that they are connected, still yet connected, even to their loved ones, to the point where they're feeling this thing and they really not going to want to leave because of their loved ones being left behind. No one never would think about that. Nobody won't discuss it. Nobody won't talk about it, but everybody thinking, oh, he coming to get us. They never give, you know why? It's because nobody wants to teach nor preach spirit and truth. Everybody wants to tell people what they want to hear to make them feel good. It is such, I'm going to tell y'all something about this. It is such a blessing. It is such a blessing when the Father chop minds down. The Father will chop any limbs that's connected to your tree if he knows already the hearts of the individuals. And I just thank him so much for that, because I always used to wonder, why is it everywhere I have gone, people didn't treat me like other people said they have lived and they were treated? I was never treated that way. You know why? Because of the power of who I serve. They said he had a hedge around me. I thank him even today for having that hedge around me. Because any limbs that try to connect to Sister Deborah, when the Father know the heart of the individual in the spirit realm is not right, he would chop it off, giving the limb a reason to feel that it needs not to be detached. Praise the mighty Yah. Father, where are you going with this, Father, Yah? Oh my Yah. But in verse 14, where he said, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. See, people thinking when he said that, he just mean a husband and a wife. Oh, that's all he's talking about, a husband and a wife. When people run around here talking about these heathens, these heathens and Gentiles celebrate all of these here pagan holidays, guess what, baby? You being a believer, you ain't got no business even around your family, even if there is not a holiday. You see? That's why family members can't. Let me set an example. That's why family members don't come to you for advice. That's why family members don't come around you. Because you don't have nothing to give them no way. But when you stand the ground that the Father has, the foundation that he has planted there for you, and you walk therein and trust that he got this, then you would be the one that everybody would come to, ask for advice, ask about this, and they will see you different, but they can't see you different because people are set in this mindset that family is all that and some. You don't even understand that if the Father already have in his bosom that your heart is so glued to your fleshly family, when he comes, that's why his remnant is going to be small. Now, what the Hebrew Israelites don't understand, they all saying they're going to the promised land, but yet why is it still said it's going to be a small remnant? I don't understand. People don't understand what would be his purpose of coming to take out the small remnant if everybody going in the Hebrew Israelite movement and everybody else. Come on now. The Hebrew Israelites. Why even say a small remnant if everybody going? And what is something that's called a small remnant in the eyes of Yah? No one seems to sit down and think about that. But as I was reading early this morning, it dawned on me that, who is this saying this here? Is this Paul? He's speaking about unequally yoked. That led me to understand this is one reason why people are not dealing with you. Because you making them equal to you just because they're your families, they bloodline. But when you stand under two words, look at that verse. Whoever talking, I think this is Paul, they know something about what they saying because they got two of the brands. What are the brands? Let's read them. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. We're not, this is what sister was saying. I am so thankful, Father Yah, that you will cut off every branch that even detach itself to me as a tree that you have created and planted. You will cut them down, and I love it. Just as Yeshua said. He said, but all that I have not lost any. But wasn't one cut down? Yes. Out of 12. Now, y'all talking about just 12. For all those years, just 12. But wasn't one cut down? Yes, that one was cut down. And it was used to do what? The wicked deed of selling the Messiah over to the wicked to fulfill the Father's word that he is what? Sacrifice. All this time they thought they was doing something. And they didn't even know heavens had already orchestrated it. Oh, he was already slaughtered before he got down there to y'all. You see how stupid people get? Now watch this here. It's telling you unequally yoked among all unbelievers. And what it meaning is, he's saying yoke together. Yoke together mean you together. You like this here, y'all. Oh, my brother, my sister, my mama, my daddy, my cousin, my uncle, my grandma, we like this. Okay, yeah, you like that. You best bet if grandma, grandpa, pawpaw, mama, daddy, sister, brother, husband, wife, children are not equally in y'all, whether they you yoked up with them and yoked down, God cut them off just to take you. But if he sees their spiritual heart is so detached, I'll leave you where your heart is. That's what Paul is saying here. Listen to it. Be ye not. Be ye not. See, a lot of people want to use this as far as marriage and who you marry. It means that too. But it don't mean a nationality, y'all. Because if a Gentile and a heathen come to know Yah and feel about Yah like you do about Yah, then y'all equal. Why? Because y'all equal in the spiritual realm of who Yah is. And if you think for 1 minute, Yah is looking down, no, one of y'all black and one of y'all white, he's done with that time, baby. The bloodline from David on down already came and gone. When Yeshua came, they brought a new line. You see? A total new line. And that's why you don't hear them talking about circumcision and marrying out of your nationality or what's that other, polygamy and all of that mess. Because when the Messiah came, things had to kick rocks and move over. It's a new sheriff in town. Here, mentally, they would never, ever, ever accept that. But here it is again. It's telling you unequally yoked together. Don't be a believer marrying an unbeliever. Don't be a believer and have a friend that's an unbeliever. Don't be a believer and have a fiance that's an unbeliever. Don't hang around your mama if she's not a believer and you are a believer. Don't yoke together with family if they don't believe. How do you know if they believe, Deborah? You can't just go in and just assume they don't believe. From the fruit of the Spirit will you know. If you got the fruits, the gifts of the fruit of the Spirit, then you shall be able. That's the power. Because if the power living in you, it should let you know who's who and what's what. And believe it or not, that's good news, y'all. That's good news. And this is why people don't draw to people. This is the reason why. Because people separate people based on if you saying what I want you to say. If not, I get off your page. If you speaking the way I want you to speak, well, if not, I get off your page. They don't even understand. Y'all cut your tail off from the tree that he planted in soil. Because the heart is not right. So it's not even equal. And that's the same thing with family. Now, I'm going to tell you as a living testimony, being a living prophet and not a dead one. All my life, I was set aside from everybody. And all my life, I was always the one that had a lot of gifts. Sister girl can do anything with these hands, baby. Anything that I go after, not only did he let me conquer it, he taught me step by step. See, I told you can do it. I did things ain't no woman need to even be doing, but the gift that he put in my hand and my spirit to have the ability, I stepped in that little thing, bam! Wait a minute, how did you do that? You see what I'm saying? Everything in my life, and I'm putting that in my book. I'm writing a book. Everything that I put my hand to, I nailed that thing. I remember all the brother-in-laws and a couple of cousins from out of town. And this one particular was from Arkansas. And he came by and to meet my kids because he had never met my children. And he spent the night for about a week. And he was telling me, he said, Booby, let me tell you, me and all your brother-in-laws, all us got together. And this just done something to my heart, y'all. It really did. He said, they said, if ever, y'all, I'm telling you, these sisters is something else because it's 5 sisters. And they said, but that Booby, that's me. When she do something, she do it. Praise the mighty God. When Booby do something, she nails it. She can do it. I said, they said that about me. She said, yeah, we was watching the football game and they were saying, yeah, but when come down out of all the 5, Booby, you know what? It felt good to hear that. I didn't need to hear it, but I think I did need to hear it because it was coming from all men in the family. Because they knew anything that I step into, I'm going to nail it. Because he that is in great, that he use my hand, my mind, my eyes, and my ears, and my mouth to be successful in any and everything I do. And I just give him praise this evening. For every limb he chops off the tree, I give him praise. This is unequally yoked. Don't even gather together with what? Unequally yoked together with unbelievers. And that's one of the major problems today. Who is unbelievers? Unbelievers are also deceivers. Hypocrites. People who think they somebody in front of you and behind you, but there's a lot of hidden genders about them. That's unbelievers. But when the Father says, you'll know them, you will know them by their fruit. And that's all Sister Deborah telling you. Because one can say, well, I don't know if my mother's saved. I don't know my daddy's saved. And how can we say if somebody's a believer? But he said, you would know them by the fruit. But if you don't have the fruit, you can't know if they have the fruit if you don't have it. And that's probably why. So I just give him praise and glory for allowing Paul to really step into this. Because I saw it. I'm going to tell you how I used to see it. You're not supposed to marry somebody out of your race, or you're not supposed to marry somebody in a different religion. But this is talking this is talking way beyond that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It has to do with the believers. He don't care if they're white, black, green, purple. Don't marry and yoke, or don't even go in the midst of those who are not. Now, say this, you have to go somewhere and be a speaker. You're going to introduce them. That's good. Say this, you got to go around the minister. That's why I was telling you, you don't come in and start taking scissors and chopping down people's belief in these pagan holidays. No, that's not how you do it. I know the Hebrew Israelite movement taught y'all to do it that way, but that's not how you do it. You go in with who you are. You sit down and you bring up the conversation. And if you see after 2 or 3 times I'm around my loved ones and they not even desire to hear it, then you need to go back to the drawing board and not yoke up with them in any way. If you cannot introduce them to what Yah has put in you as a believer. That's the same thing. Don't yoke up with them. Don't get up with them. What does it say? Let's read it. 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers with an S. So he's not just talking about your husband or your wife. You see, if you say, since I got all adult children, and they ask me, Mama, we're going to have a get together, and are you going to come? When I get over there, Somebody gonna hear some word. Mama gonna bring up some conversation, and they know. Mama's subject to bring it out. You see? But I'm not gonna yoke up, and I might not even come. But I'm not coming together and yoking up with people who are not believers, especially when your spirit know that they're not. Now let's continue. For it gives you an example. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteous? There go that righteousness. What was the first one? What was in the first sentence? Believer. Believers. Unbelievers. So if they unbelievers, can you yoke up with believers? Yes. Going back to the 4 brands. Believe, believers, and righteousness. And you know what else is in there? Light. The light to see in darkness. Listen to what it says. For fellowship, a fellowship have righteous with unrighteous? Nothing. And that's where you know the Father will come in, and he always talking about the vineyard, branches. I'm saying it just like he said it. Same way. He said it's spiritual. I'm saying it in the spiritual contents of a parable. I give him glory and praise for cutting down any limb. And I'm going to pray and continue to make it my prayer, Father. I'm trusting in how you chop down the limbs. You plant me in the soil. I sprout it up. Any leaves, and or branches that come near me, Father, chop them down. I give him all praise. Okay, so it says have righteous with unrighteous. And what it says? Communions have light with darkness. What do light and darkness have together? Nothing. Now watch this here. In verse 15, for what accord has Christ build it all? Or what part has that believe with an infidel? What part do a believer believe with an infidel? See, he's letting you know he's sitting here separating the unrighteous from the righteous, the light from the darkness, unbelief from belief, Christ from Belial. He's separating them, letting you know from Christ. He separates Christ from Belial. Separating them. He's letting you know in this day and time, you better think about it. Because with my family, even mine, I have never thought for 1 minute all the talents that he has invested in me. Come on now, y'all. It had to be for something. What would a hire invest talents into one for nothing? It doesn't make any sense. So it has to be for something and someone. So I sit with these talents and I said, you know what? Everyone I know and have known, and even in family members, they would come to me. They would, with no problem. That's the reason why you can't be the light going and mingle and yoke with darkness. You got to stand on its own side. Anything coming, this darkness coming to that light, let it come to the light and go back where it belongs. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. I love that. Anybody that's righteous, anybody, if I'm righteous, Anybody that's unrighteous, the Father send him another way. That's why I give him honor. Because he's entitled to it. He helped Yeshua out like that. He did. And here it is, and he said, what do and what part have he that believeth with an infidel? Wow. These are, didn't I tell y'all? These are the brands. He letting you know, Deborah, don't let who I branded you with get bent out of order with those who ain't branded. So what I did is I plant you in the soil. I'm the sower who sowed those seeds, Deborah. Do you know, Deborah, why there was 4 sets of seeds? There was the stony place that seeds were thrown on. There was the rocks, what did he say? Not the rocks. And there were stony. No, it was stony thorns. But Deborah, it was only one out of 4. It was only one that I planted my seed in. And don't forget, Deborah, when I plant my seed, they sprout up and grow leaves. All those other ones, they never made it there. And the seed, Deborah, represents something. So I want to help you out. I know you hear. You always telling these people, you are not a dead prophet. You are a living one. And you are. You're living in these days that a lot of prophets wish that they could see into. He said, but use that right now. Just use that as part of your lesson. Did the other sets, everybody that got into the stony, the stones, which the seeds were dropped on, the thorns, the seeds were dropped on, and by the wayside, the seeds were dropped on. And then here is the soil, the seeds were dropped on. The one with the soil, they sprouted up. They grew leaves. Praise the mighty God. The other ones was what? All of everything that was planted, it was the seed, which was the word of Yah, was planted on all those locations. And where it was planted was the people. When it got time for it to pull up and be what it's supposed to be, it went another way. It got burnt out. It hurt. But after a while, when hard times come, it swooped the coop somewhere else. Those were the 3. So the whole example the Father is saying, Deborah, don't forget it was full. I only planted in one, mine in soil, that they may sprout up. But the other one, it ain't like they didn't have the word, Deborah, they had it. But when their feelings got hurt, when they in their emotions, it's just a matter of time. They'll be here, they'll be back onto you, then they go here and they go here and go there. Those are people who just going to continue circling. Now, are these people going to ever manage the word that was planted within them? No. And they can't nobody do nothing about it. Unless you want to try to fuss with the one that created all things, you need to take it up with him. That's a beautiful example. So it's never what somebody's doing or what somebody has said and how does that individual spoke it. He said you weren't going to mount up to be nothing anyway. You was dropped on stony ground. That's why you're going to and fro, trying to get rest in how your feelings stand up. You was dropped. You see, you was dropped in the word was dropped in the thorns, and when it sprouted up, what did it do? It died. Oh, wait a minute. One was on the wayside. when it sprouted up, it didn't have nothing to sprout up. The sun scorched it. It didn't have no soil. But the Yah said, but Deborah, the ones I placed in the soil, when I placed that word, which is the seed, into that soil, it came up, Deborah. It don't. How can it come up, Deborah? It comes up with leaves, Deborah. It comes up with leaves. So it's no big thing in this society or even in this world that it's about thinking that somebody got to chase behind somebody or make somebody. No, that's not even the work of the Creator. That's not even his makeup for those that he has elected. So here it said in verse 15 that, and what accord has Christ with Belial? Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? Total directions. Unbelief and belief, total two different directions. That's what people don't understand. Sister Deborah and nobody who is called, appointed, and anointed to be planted in the soil, the word to be planted in the soil of who they are, is called here to lick under nobody and to be about what somebody wants you to say, speak, and how, and feelings and emotions. Yah don't rumble that way. And he ain't going to create nobody to rumble that way. So in verse 16, we in 2 Corinthians verse 16. And see, I like what he's saying because, see, many people thinking he said, don't be unequally yoked. Don't marry somebody who's not a believer. But see, he's talking about even being around people. But what do the Hebrew Israelites do? They landed on, they celebrating the pagan days. They said, baby. He's sitting here telling you, unequally yoked among believers, unbelievers. So people who are going out, dealing every day and making what they think is love in their flesh for family members and everybody, y'all don't have no problem with that. He don't have no problem with that. But understand, when he comes, you and yours is going to get left. You better start digging in here with the Ruach HaKodesh so he can teach you. And I don't think he's coming like if he's in you, he's in you. Because people are missing it. It's so much light, so much revelation is being spoken in this day and time. He said he has moved the curtains. Everything can be seen. Satan and left all the lights on, and we still walking around here like we don't see no light. Just in all we see and we digest is darkness. Now listen to verse 16. It says in verse 16, and what agreement have the temple of Yah with idols? I love that. I love the examples he's given us. You know, I love that. For ye are the temple of the living Yah. As Yah has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Yah, and they will be my people. Now, you think he's talking about unbelievers? Infidels? Those who walking in the darkness? That's what he's talking about. All of that, he's telling you, he has no place with that. So you can get unequally yoked and take your life and just live among and deal with people who are not believers and think, when he comes, I'm going to be ready when you come, Father. Father, yeah, I'm going to be ready when you come. Not if you have lived your life and have yoked and gathered around unbelievers. I believe that going around unbelievers it's only okay when you don't yoke yourself around them as if, oh, this is my mother, this is my daddy, this is my sister, or this is my cousin, this is my uncle. You know, we family. I had to break that news to my mother. And she said, but can you give me some scriptures to back that up? I gave it to her. I said, now, you know what else, Mama? It don't tell you nothing about family. Because he already know the first family in your life is him. Once you seek ye him, all shall be added unto thee. You can go anywhere in the world. You can go with mamas, daddies, anywhere. You can go in among atheists. You can go among family members that's not saved. You can go among them. But you have to be. He has to be your all in all. You can go anywhere, anyway. Because now you're in full control of this flesh. Your spirit and got this flesh under the subjection to the greater one that's in you. So it knows that you're going to go over here what he's that's and I believers. If you're going to go over here, what you going to do? Party with them, sit down and drink with them, sit down and talk with them. Wait a minute, hold up. When you go over there, you bring that believing out of who you are. When you going over here, you going over here to your uncle's house. Okay, they're unbelievers. What you gonna do when you get there? You gonna bring the word out. You gonna say something, and you gonna leave some light in the midst of darkness, even if it's a small light. Leave it. It don't make any sense to make everybody and yoke with everybody, and they are not believers. But I like how he says, Paul is saying that be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. He ain't saying about wife and husband. I know they have made that to be, but that's true too. You ain't got no business yoking yourself around people who do not believe. That means you the light, but you going and party or not. Let's not even say you going and befriend all the people that's in darkness. Can't be done. Can't be done. Why? Because darkness has to seek light out. Darkness don't seek light out. If light is seeking darkness out, darkness has to seek light out, not light seek darkness out. You get what I'm saying? So if you had to go someone around family members and friends that's unequally yoked, guess what you have to do? You got to let your light so shine. Didn't he say it's like you're up on part of a mountain that that can't be hidden. That's how your light is supposed to shine when you go around your family members. And it don't did you know that your light can shine without you opening up your mouth? Did you all know that? You don't have to even open up your mouth. Your light is shining. It's your countenance, the way you look, the way you even walk up in there. They already know something about that lady, something about that. I know too many places I've been. I worked for the prison system, 3 different prison systems, and one of them was the maximum. Look it up, Clayton Prison. And let me tell you, Sister Girl walked in there, and let me tell you, they looked at me like, okay, this is one that we can't just, around. Oh, yes, they know. That's when you have put the Father ahead of your life. And he's allowing your light to shine, to represent him. And if your light is shining, represent him, nobody gonna come around with bull crap. Try to put your light out. Try to belittle the light that he has bright. Oh no, they don't do it. I'm a living prophet. I'm a prophet. I'm not a dead one. That's why all my life, yes, he had a hedge around me. He had more than just a hedge around me because I've been too many places that I shouldn't even been in. And that light shining. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay? So it said in verse 16, and what agreement have the temple of Yah with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As Yah has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Yah, and they shall be my people. Now, who is he said be my people? Who is he saying? Or do you think he's talking about Hebrew Israelites? No, he ain't. They're going to be his. Why? Because they're branded with belief, righteous. They got on here the light. Okay? They got even the light in verse 14. I just read it. Verse 14. You're going to be that. You're going to be mine. Why? Because all these things that dwells in you is connected to me. How you like them now? That's why we cannot think. And what he hooked unequally yoked with unbelievers, he put unrighteous, unbelief, darkness, infidel, idols. He's naming them all. Those are the type of people you ain't got no business being around. But we make, oh no, that's my family member. And when I gave those verses to my mother, I only gave her like 4 or 5 of them. And I told her she wants some more, I can give them to her. And when she read those, because she thought that, mom thought that, and she might still feel that way, that family is more than anything. It's more important than anything. That's how she felt. But what she didn't know, you are unequally yoked. Just because we are your daughters, sons, nieces, nephews, that we in there with you, you are unequally yoked. He didn't say wife, but he meant that. He didn't say husband, but he meant that. He didn't say friend, but that's what he's talking about. He didn't say a church that's all praising him. No. Unequally yoked. These are people that are not believers. And this is the sad thing. When he said he moves the curtains, he's already done let the people know. Mine's no. I branded you with belief. I branded you with righteous. It's not something you get because you grow in your hair. It don't grow out of your hair. Righteousness don't grow out of your hair. Belief don't grow out of your hair. The light ain't who you are. These are things about him, who he is, that make you who you are. See, we take so much credit for these things as if we chose him, and don't think, no, baby, he chose us. Didn't Yeshua tell him that? All that I have is what you gave me, Father. I didn't choose them. You chose them for me before the foundation of the world. We've been up and we've been down, especially in the year 2023. We want all the glory. We want all the praise. 99.9 are unbelievers or unrighteous. And then they want the righteous one that are higher than higher. He didn't appoint it, anointed, predestined, ordained, foreknew, mold you in your mother's womb, and you're going to get down here and feel that you got to please flesh to people? I don't think so. Ain't no thinking to it. That's not what he calls his to do. They don't come to play patty cake, let me deceive you. They come to give you what he gives them. And a lot of people don't know messages that's come from people that break you. It's just coming to make you. But people can't stand their feelings to be broke. They can't stand that. They can't deal with that. Oh no, my feelings, my emotions. And those are those who are not. They are planted. Those other three that he said, stony ground, the wayside, and thorns was my words planted, Deborah. And it didn't increase in them. But I put you in the soil. You sprout up. And my word is birthed in you. Ain't nobody I sun down here outside of Yeshua HaMashiach that's perfect. And anybody who look at people as perfect, you are an ill person. Okay? Now, in verse 17, it says, wherefore come out from among them, praise the mighty Yah. Come out from among them and be ye separate. Well, who is he saying that to? Hey, Deborah, you are a believer. Hey, Deborah, you are righteous. Hey, Deborah, you are branded with faith. Hey, Deborah, you are branded with fear. You got the 4 brands, and then I turned around and gave you the spirit of endurance. Stand down away from all that crap. And I praise him for that. I rumble the way and the power that he has given me to rumble with. Okay? And it says, wherefore, in verse 17, we in 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them and be separated. Didn't I tell y'all? Sister Deborah is a tree planted. Any leaves that fall out, praise the mighty Yah. Any branches that breaks off, praise the mighty Yah. I'm going in just as he as a tree that sprung up, the word of God. Praise the mighty Yah. And he said, in verse 17, wherefore come out from among them, be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean things, and I will receive you. He's sitting here telling those that are branded in righteous and belief, has the light, faith, and fear come from among them. Be ye separated. Don't touch that unclean, and I will receive you back. Verse 18, and I will be a father unto you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, said the Most High Ahaya. Thank you, Father. Yeah, I like that. The next one was Titus. Titus chapter 1 and verse 10. I like the way the Father has created things in the order, in the way he wanted it to be. He knows, he says what he means, and he means what he says. And I give him all praise for that. In Titus chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, okay, for there are many unruly. Now, I'm going to drop this, and I know I'm going to get in trouble, but I think it's a good thing. It's a good trouble. Watch this here. In Titus chapter 1, verse 10, for there are many. So when you see, people will say, when Sister Deborah, you be talking this 99.9, hey, let me tell you something. It's okay for me to say that, because Yah has said it from the beginning to the end. He counted it out. Listen to what he said here. For there are many unruly, and vain talkers, and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, they of your tribe, the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. Basically, I'm riding on Judah. You see what he said? And this is Paul, Titus, epistle of Paul to Titus. No, so it's Paul. Now see, that's deep. I see why they want to get rid of Paul. Because after they was able to deceive you all with Paul and Peter and them, once they realize that you might pick up that book and look in it, oh, wait a minute, now we're going to have to do something with Paul now, y'all. We're going to have to dig him up and kill him over. And that's what they're trying to do. It's over. It's finished. Paul and gone. You ain't going to be able to dig him up and kill him again. Listen to what Paul says. And do you all 99.9 would even look into this and paying attention to what this is saying? This answers your question when you think of the tribe of Judah. This answers your question when you think of our men that's out here. And it says, Titus chapter 1, verse 10, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers. Why is it important that Paul put this here? Titus, in Titus. Why would Paul put this here to Titus? Let me tell you why. What did the Father say? What did Yeshua say to his 10 disciples on Mount Olive? Be not deceived. And that's what Paul is saying. Just saying the same thing. He's saying it just as Yeshua wanted them to take it serious. Y'all want to know what's going to happen in the end of days. But before I even tell you, you need to understand. I know you all going to have the power. I know the Holy Spirit going to be in you. I know you're going to wake the dead and you're going to heal the sick. I know you're going to have all that power. But let me tell you something. This deceiver that's on the land that's coming out, it still can deceive you. That's to the 12 disciples. So what makes you all in this day and time think that y'all can't be deceived? And 99.9 is not even walking, talking, or conducting themselves in the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh. Now listen to what he said, verse 10. For there are many unruly amongst the circumcision. That's the tribe of Judah in the house of Israel. You see? And this here is showing you what type of men your nation men are. See, that's the thing about it. He didn't say it so much to where he said, that's it. It's finished. It's finished. It's so beautiful how he orchestrated it from heaven. But he can speak it in your spirit. It's finished. It's finished. Family, it's finished. You know, because they are working. They are walking, talking, and acting the way heaven knew that they would. Praise the Most High God. Let's go to verse 11. Whose mouth must be stopped. Who convert the whole house, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lyric sake. And this is what the branches and the leaves that falls off the tree runs to. They need to stay there and see if these sort of play people can let them be grafted in. That's where it needs to come. Praise the mighty Yah. Now listen to what it says in verse 11. Whose mouth must be stopped. Who burnt whole houses, big churches, big camps. That's what they do. And he's talking about the men. You see? The same one that said woman keep silent. Look what he's saying about the men. And throughout everything I tell y'all, this is Paul. This is why they want to get rid of Paul now. They want to make Paul a lie now today. They got to make Paul a lie. I told y'all. They got to. Because they realize women, he can't be saying that. Oh no, he gonna tell on us. Oh no, if they read that, they gonna find out. Let's look what verse 10. Titus chapter 1, verse 10 and 11 says, for there are many unruly, vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. Whose mouth must be stopped. Who burnt whole houses, Deborah, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lyrics' sake. You see that? That's sad. Those are the one that every leaf and every branch that falls off, there you go. How you like them now. He gave you something to go to so you can embed it and maybe grow from it. Okay, let's go to 2 Peter. This is our last verse, and then I got a treat. 2 Peter, I have a treat. And I know I'm going to have to, I better not deal with that girl. Well, I'll tell y'all about it in a few minutes. In 2 Peter chapter 2, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 8. What is going on here, Father, y'all? For that righteous man dwell among them in seeing and hearing. Praise the mighty Yah. That's his righteous spirit from day to day with unlawful deeds. Now, let me see where he's coming from. That's Peter, 2 Peter, destruction of false teachers. Okay, that was Peter. That's Peter. Destruction of false teachers. Let's bump it up to 7. And deliver just vexed with filthy conversation of the wickedness. For that righteous man dwelleth among them in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous spirit from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Who is he talking about? There was a righteous man, which was Lot, that was brought out. He was vexed because he had to see this homosexual stuff taking place in Sodom and Gomorrah and hear about it. And it vexed his righteous spirit from day to day and with their unlawful deeds. Ain't that deep? Now, a righteous man, and I too myself can embrace that, because a lot of this homosexual and this perverted sex stuff that's going on, all this murdering and killing and everything that's taking place in this day and time. He said that how Lot had to see this stuff and how he had to hear it, and how hearing it vexed his righteous spirit from day to day. How Sister Deborah can see this stuff. You know, the difference I would say from between me and Lot is he brought Lot out, right? But being in it in this day and time, Lot ain't had nothing to worry about. Being in it, I say that to say this. Lot couldn't even stand a chance in this day and time. Lot couldn't stand a chance in this day and time. He wouldn't. See, I tell people, I believe the Father saved his best for last. He saved his best for last. I really believe that with all my heart. I believe somewhere along the line, he saved his best for last. He talked about how some of the prophets would love to have seen these days in which we are in. I remember Martin Luther King said that the Father had paid him a visit, and he asked him, he said, if there was a time in life or that's behind your life or ahead of your life, and you had an opportunity, you were given an opportunity to come back to, what time period was that? Martin Luther King started with his mother and father meeting each other, them going to college, them conceiving, him getting pregnant with him being born. He took it all the way up. And guess what? Even to the day his mother and father got married, all the way up to him going to college. Martin Luther King took it all back. He took it all the way back, y'all, all the way up. What the father, he said the father was asking him, what time period, if he were to allow him to come back, what time period, Martin Luther King, would you like to come back to? To see, just to see. And this is another reason why I know he saved the best for last. And when I say the best for last, I'm gonna explain it. You know what time period that Martin Luther King said? He took them all the way back to when his mama and daddy met each other, laid down, conceived him, birthed him, all the way up to his college. Guess what he said? He said, but I wouldn't want to go back. I wouldn't want to come back to see those days. But if you would suffer me, I would love to come in and see the 21st century. That's what Martin Luther King said when God visited him and said those things to him. When I heard that album, it was brand new, hadn't even been opened. My aunt had passed away, and I went in her basement, and she had all them albums. And I saw a Martin Luther King album, brand new, never been opened. I took it home, and I sat up one night, and I just listened to it. When I heard that album, I cried. I said, glory to thee. He said the 21st century. And you know how many years ago that was? Probably almost 20 years ago. It was almost 20 years ago. Probably over 20 years ago. And guess what? Since the 21st century, that's one thing that I keep in mind with Martin Luther King said. And I say, I see now why you would want to have come during the 21st century. Now I see. Now I see what Martin Luther King is saying. That's why I go back and tell you all, I'm not a dead prophet. I'm a living. Every prophet, not every, but yes, most of them, got beaten and killed because of things that they were saying and how they were saying, the way they carried themselves, the way they conduct themselves. Many of them lost their lives. It's not because they did something. It's not because they hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody was all caught up in their emotions. Nobody. See, a lot of people, when they get in their feelings and their emotions, guess what it's about? Guess what it's about? Truth. That's it. That's what he called all his prophets to do, is to speak truth. He said, you mean to tell me I'm your enemy because I tell you the truth? That's what happened to the majority of the prophets, because they spoke truth. I just thank the Father for allowing me to be a living prophet today, to be able to stand on anybody's pulpit or anywhere and say that is so 100. And Martin Luther King said he wished he could come into the 21st. He said to the Father, if you will let me come back to the 21st century. What's the deal with the 21st century? There's many things spoken, y'all. It's so many things. That's why I said our black men are so gone, because they trying to chase history to find out how many slaves George Washington had, how many slaves he had. He signed this, and when he said stupid stuff. When there's so much good information that adds to life. You knowing how many slaves George Washington had, or anybody, or that type of history, that's trash. That's trash. Somebody's trying to get glory. But the light, you bring in history that carries the light, it'll bring light straight out of darkness so people can see. But you all trying to take some trash and tell people to search their history about some trash that has no light. Now, I was saw a lady, and I know her because she has a store down from my store. And I asked her, I say, I'm coming in here to see what you have in here. I ain't even been down in her store. I don't even go in her store. And so happened, I saw this crate, this milk crate. And I said, well, what is this? She got all these little pictures in. I'm going to show you how it's a blessing for me to just come up on that, because y'all, let me tell you, this sparked a lot of light in my spirit. Oh, it does. Ooh, it did something for me. But guess what? Sister Deborah didn't know this type of stuff exists. I didn't even know this type of stuff exists. Because the way our people are, especially our brothers, they so busy doing stupid stuff and making, like, say, for instance, the lion with dreads. You see what I'm saying? Putting red eyes in the lion's eyes and dreads. You know, I know they saying that represents maybe that individual, but I think in this end day journey, it is some journey. It's beautiful. And I'll also say this here. These things that I've seen at this lady place, I said, no, why do you have these? And what are they doing here? And she had them like sitting over by itself. You couldn't see them. She made sure nobody could see them. So I'm going to share it with you all. And I hope that you all see it. Beautiful art. Beautiful art. But I just don't understand, why wouldn't she put them up? Because she serves heathens and Gentiles. She serves them. She loves it to the point. She's like that blue black. You so dark, you blue. Okay? She loves serving them. And she don't want nothing to do with her own kind or selling anything that represents them. And I found this to be so beautiful, y'all. It is so much in the beauty of the women. Oh, they look. And you know, the women, I tell you now, they got their head tied and all that, looking like who did it. These women in these pictures look so nice. And I like what has happened, because everything in each picture include I just don't know who did this. And I would love to give these to somebody that represents, you know how you go to a place and you look around. Let's say, oh, that'd be good to give this to an art museum. And they could blow them up and put them all around, y'all. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Watch this. Let me show you the first one. I'm going to move this over here. And I just couldn't. And I said, why would you not put these up? You got all 8 pictures up. I should have left her alone. I shouldn't bother her. She's an unbeliever. She could care less. See, sometimes Sister Deborah overwork herself when she don't need to. When people is going, if I'm going left, if I'm going right and somebody's going left, let them go. Just stay in. That's what he's telling me. Deborah, I told you, you got a lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Let them watch this here. You know what? That'll be beautiful. Guess what? Maybe I tell my son, that'll be a really good idea. Keep these myself, have them blown up to a big size picture, and get a place and post them all the way around. And oh, let me just show them to y'all. I know y'all waiting. Okay, I know you're waiting. Here go one. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that beautiful? Let me give you another one. And guess what? I believe they got the whole Bible. You remember turning the wine? They say the wine was really the water pot. Oh, and I love the way they gave the pots. Look at the woman behind the man. Isn't that beautiful? That is, look at the water pots. Those are beautiful. Look at here. You remember they was having the marriage feast? There they go under the thing there. And there go woman, not with the man. And there go the servant who hand the water to the was he a king or whoever he was? Look at the water pots. Isn't that beautiful? Look. I couldn't even, whoever were able to do such beautiful. Oh, it looks so pretty. It looks, and even the man, wait a minute. Even the man in here, he looks so nice. Look at him. That is beautiful. And look here. He's talking to his disciples. I don't know if they had to been getting ready to feed them. I don't know, but just let me look at that. Can you see it? This is what you call truth. I'm showing you all pictures of truth. This is the truth of the whole matter. It's what you're seeing. And I'm going to show you some other ones but I wonder who was able to who did that? Who made these things like that? One thing about Sister Deborah, I'm real good with art. Always been. But who did it? Who did it? Who drew all these beautiful? I love the picture of the man. Oh, I just love the way they got him looking on there. Look at this one here. I'm trying to figure out. One is kind of puzzled, but why? I think that was Peter upset about him leaving. You see him? Peter looked like he upset. Is that Peter? You think he's upset because he's telling him that's the last supper? You see? And you can see Judas. You know he's the one that's looking straight ahead. Can y'all see that? That is so nice. It is so nice. And they got the gray-headed ones. Notice that you see the one with the gray beard. Look here. That is so nice, y'all. That is so nice. This is truth, y'all. Who could have drawn these? Here go 1, 2. I like how they got him. I don't know if that's Peter. Who is that getting the keys? I don't know who that is. I think that is. Those are so nice. Who drew these pictures? Now, if I'm going to draw and I'm going to show y'all how good I can draw, you're going to be like, you didn't do that. I'm going to say, yes, I did. Here's the feeding the people. Look at here. Look how the people over there. Isn't that nice? That is so nice. And I like here where they got the men up front and the women in the back. I like that. I love that. I love that in this picture, y'all. I really do. I love it. I love that. That is so beautiful, y'all. That is so beautiful. And I love how they gave some of the men gray hair. I love it. Some of them got gray hair. He's calming the sea. Here he comes out of. I don't get this one here, but I'm gonna show it. I guess the tomb. But these here pictures are following. And look how in the heavens, how one is going on one side and the other one is going to the other side. Look at there. Isn't that beautiful? You see the fire, one going in a direction to the fire. One hand is saying come, the other one is saying no, like go. No, not, that's nice. That's nice. Who was able to draw these pictures like this here? To me, it just means something. Look at Thomas. Look at this one here with Thomas. He didn't believe him. He put his hand in his doubting Thomas. He had to touch to believe. I have a whole lot of them, but let me show you. I'm gonna start showing you. I'm gonna give you, just show you 4 of the other pictures. But you guys, let me tell you, look at the art of this. This was Yeshua when he was a baby. They show. I'm telling you, now this is a different. You see that? Look at how the men are marveling off of him. Even as a young child, he spoke. Do you see us as a people in these pictures? This will be beautiful to put in an art museum that tells the story of the true Jews. You see what I'm saying? Or I ain't gonna say the true Jews, but the Hebrew Israelite and the tribe of Judah. I think we should focus on that more so than the true Jews. Okay. Now, this one here, I don't know what this represents. Maybe you all can figure that one out. I don't know, but it has a Bible a verse that has to. I don't know. Maybe you all can figure that one out. But don't y'all? You know what? This will go good in the art museum, wouldn't it? Somebody who's starting a history of like an art museum where we as a people can go and check it out and see all the history, And I like this one, even when they got the woman over here breastfeeding. Look at here. It's telling the same story, but it's telling it out of the Bible. And I don't know who it is he's talking to. But I just like the colors, y'all. The colors are beautiful. And here it goes. These are different pictures, you guys. I got a lot of the other ones and a lot of these. Look at Mary in this one. Look how nice. Look how nice. This was when she birthed Yeshua. But look how nice they made her look. Look how nice that is. That's beautiful. Whoever drew that is, and painted, that looks really nice. You all, this is what you call truth. These are truth. Sister Deborah got these pictures from that young lady. This is true. Look at this one here, how they got her. Look at Mary. I love the way she looks so pretty. I'm just saying on the pictures, it just I think it's beautiful. I'm gonna show you just the 2 more, and then I'm going to. And this is him. I just think this is really nice, y'all. I really do. Isn't that nice? That's him, Yeshua, ascending, leaving the disciples, going up. Can you see him? Isn't those nice pictures of those men? I just think that is really nice. And see, if I could blow them up, give better frames for them, somebody can put these in some art museum that tells the story. And as you walk, you walk based on the story. It's not a story, the truth. Walk through. So I'm gonna show you one more. And here's a different one, him coming out of the throne and the two women seeing him. But look how they look what it looked like. And I just thought that she had these tucked away so nobody could see them and covered up. And I moved the thing from off of it and I said, oh, what are these doing down there? Why you got these? You getting rid of those? You gonna sell them? Yes. I said, I want them. I want them. What's Sister Deborah gonna do with them? I'm gonna give them somewhere that it can be needy. And you know what, you all? Let me tell you something. This is what you call educating your children. How? You can close this, teach them the book, and let them see the book walk itself out through the pictures. You see what I'm saying? Because the Bible don't show you the pictures. These pictures is so beautiful, y'all. This is just beautiful. 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 Very colorful. And the melanated people looks beautiful. That is so beautiful. So that's what I probably do. Fine. I should do it myself. Should do it myself. But I see. I'm gonna see what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it. But I thought I'd share that with you so you could see those. I thought that they were, and I think I was a little too hard on her because I was like, why do you have these down here? Why you ain't got these up? You know? But if you're an unbeliever, you don't want to even accept this. So I should have just not waste my time trying to say those things to her. But yeah, I thought that this here is really good. And I got the whole box of them. I had to. Because I said, now this here somebody can, now this is the sort of stuff the brothers should come to, but they ain't gonna never come together. But they should. No, those that are, see, that's the problem that I'm having. And that's what I was telling you yesterday. I'm gonna have to see the power of Yah. So, and it ain't gonna be hard. Because I want to understand, why is it those that are branded can't unite? Why or why not those that are branded for his name's sake? Why is it they don't unite? There's got to be a reason. There got to be a reason. I don't know what the reason is. So I'm seeking the Ruach HaKodesh. And he will show me. He will tell me. And whatever he tell me and whatever he show me, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it for what he says. Because I know when Sister Deborah asks questions, the questions that I ask, sometimes I wonder myself, girl, when you coming up with that? But I do. I be wanting to know. Okay, you done branded even the heathens and Gentiles. Branded for your name's sake. Okay, why can we come together in unity? Didn't you say you had a body, a homoousia? Where's the body at, Father? Why ain't the body working together? See, I get too stupid. I know it. I get too stupid because stuff like that, I be trying to piece it together. And don't think that it's not found. Oh, yes. It's just as clear can be. Because we're in that day where everything is clearly seen. It's just Sister Deborah can't see it. I can't see it. But it's that. Because I truly believe that if the fruit of the Spirit is connected to those brands, why is it those who have those brands cannot connect with one another? To me, that's strange. Really strange. I wonder about that. Hopefully, and you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if he turned around and cause those to come before me and I meet people everywhere I go, since I want to ask the tough question. Okay, you want to ask the tough, they coming your way. You see what I'm saying? Y'all would do something like that. He'll do something like that. Yeah, he'll do something like that. Because he know he has equipped me to know. So he will. You want to know, huh? You want to know what happened to those that are branded. Why can't they come on one accord? Why can't they unite? Why can't they come together? And I know it. I understand. There's too much darkness. Too much darkness out here. They just trying to find their way because there's too much darkness. Too much darkness. They trying to separate themselves out of the darkness, and every time they try to get out of darkness, they run right back into the darkness. A lot of them. I've heard people tell me that. And I went to this place, and I started joining this person and this group. Got there, they were doing this. And I left that one and went here, got there, and they were doing this. Miss Deborah, I went to here, and they were doing this. You see? Going into more and more darkness and more darkness and more darkness. But you know what? I think when it's like that, it's because many leave the light to go into that darkness. Because if you are the light, why are you going to that darkness, to that darkness, to that darkness, just to get the experience of what that darkness is doing? And then so you can turn away. You go to the next darkness. Oh, that darkness doing this. Turn away. You go to that next darkness. I like the fact when I see somebody say that, it's like, okay, Father, you trying to show them that you were already in the light. But because of your feelings and your emotions, and you think you the righteous one in your flesh, you turn from what was righteous and the light to go into that darkness. So you keep on going in a circle till you find your way home. Woo! Sister Deborah, what did you say? Well, that's what he put in my spirit. It's the truth. Because I hear a lot of people always talking that, and they said that to me. But you know, I was in it real deep. I was really involved, and I was dedicated, and I left this group, and they did this, they did this, they did. Oh, and I left this one here, and this one here. When I went to that one, it was worse than the last one. I'm like, oh man. You see? Okay, what are you searching? That's a wandering spirit that Ahia has not settled down. Because anybody that's going to and fro in the last hour, the end hour, they're going to continue to and fro, bumping their heads and going through. Because we're in the midnight hour. This ain't time to try to figure out where is the light? Where is the light? Let me look over here. Let me check over here. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Look, Sister Deborah ain't going nowhere. I heard cries of people today, and I was like, didn't even know where to begin to even support them in what they were talking about. Because it was just like people have and is living this type of life that they're actually getting what they're asking for. They getting what they flesh yearn for. Go, you know. And it gets hard trying to help us. They're all over the place, trying to find light, trying to find righteous, and don't understand, baby. You just running in a circle because righteous is not to be found. Belief is not to be found. Faith is not to be found. Fear is not to be found. God is not to be found. Because none of it's lost. You are. You are. And it's not to a point where a person is lost. You were lost. You see? So I just think the Most Higher for just being that light. That I won't have to go to and fro trying to find the light that represents him in me and me in him. I just thank him for being that light. I thank him for being all that and some. I just thank him. Oh, Father, yeah, what more can I tell of people you are? Oh, you are all that and some. You know what else, y'all? Let me tell you something else I'm going to tell you. I've learned him to move a mountain. He will not, you know what he'll do? He'll move 3 mountains for you at one time. Oh, yes. I'm trying to give you an outlook of the type of creator I have come to know. I'm not talking about who you know. You know who you know. But I'm talking about the one that I come to know. You see? I think of him like, wait a minute. When my sons passed away, you didn't tell me they was going to pass away. You told me before I had them they was going to pass away. He put me in dreams and visions. Told me straight up what was what. I think of stuff like that. I think about things that he don't have to do, but he do it. Do you think that he's doing that because I'm a nobody in him? No, I'm a somebody. Because somebody's living in me that is greater than anybody that's on the outside anywhere else. And I just think of that. I think of that. I think of when I went over the cliff. And you know how you go over a cliff and your car tumble and turn and flip and all that over the brick, over the cliff? Mine didn't do that. My car slid over the cliff, just like this here, over the cliff and landed right on top of a solid rock. Car sitting right up here. Down the cliff now. Let's put the cliff here. The car went down, bam, and sat up on top of a rock. Sunday evening. Something like 4 p.m. He said, ma'am, when everybody tried to come out and they saw us, and they was calling, guess what? They said, well, it's Sunday. Everybody's closed. But you know what? Here that crank came, took that big old mouse, picked me up, brought me back to the street, land that car, and I went all the way home. Many miles, 200 miles, something like that, back home. After that clock, that thing landed on the rock. I can't afford for somebody out there to tell me who he is. Why would I listen to somebody who don't know him like I know him? I know him to be all that and some. I know him to be so excellent, so perfect, so good, so wonderful, so powerful. I know him like that. I'm not going to give that glory to a flesh. I'm not going to praise that flesh. I know who he is. And it's not because I know, it's because he know me before the foundation of the world. So I just, this evening, like to end this message with knowing him and thanking him at the same time for all that he has been in my life and all that he's going to be in the day to come. Because he got this. Oh, he got this. Like he had everything else. Ain't nothing going on that he don't know about. So even this message is beautiful. Because it's actually separating the wheat from the tare. It's actually telling you, my believer is marked. Believer, don't put yourself around unbelievers. Don't yoke yourself with unbelievers. Righteous, you branded to be righteous, Deborah. Don't waste your time with unrighteousness. You know who they are. They think you don't. But why are you wasting your time, Deborah? The light, don't waste your time messing around with darkness. Don't waste your time. And I like that. Because that's what he's about. Making sure he is understand. You okay? And it's beautiful for him to always remind me that there is a lane. Who do you all think that lane is? You think the lane that created for me to run in on this journey is supposed to be caught up from the floor up in the confusion on the left and the confusion on the right? Or what about all the troubles behind me? Oh, looking forward. All I can see is the finish line. I don't know what y'all can see. So I just give him praise and honor, because I think him telling me I have a lane is also showing me how the endurance a gift spirit that it is ever present, and I don't have anything to really worry about. You where you should supposed to be. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Anything else on your left, kick it to the curb. Anything else on your right, kick it to the curb. Don't let it get in your lane. Don't let it get in your lane. That's what this whole message was about. That's what this whole message was about. All those verses was separating the believer from the unbeliever, the righteous from the unrighteous, the light from the darkness, Christ from the infidel. I love that. That's beautiful. Just food for the spirit that you can continue to run on right where you at, because this is where he called you. And don't ever estimate that if I gave you a lane, who can actually say, y'all said, stay in your lane? But I gave you a lane, and anytime I think you moving to the side, you running it, but you might be good. Stay off the other side. Don't worry about the other side. Don't worry about on the other side, the left and on the right. You in there. You in there. So I do. I thank the Most High for just being all that, a reminder to me, a revealer, and being that comforter, being that excellent teacher of all things, and showing me things to come, revealing things to me. But you know what? I'm trying to, flesh might be getting in the way because things are happening, and I'm trying to embrace it in a way, and I need to let it go, like let loose, because I'm starting to know things before it happened too quick. When I say too quick, I remember being a young person when he wanted me to know something, he'll tell me, and then maybe it'll happen a month later, 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks, or even a year later, and I'll be looking dead at it. I'll be like, is this not? And I would always kind of like tell Mama, he said this. And she said, didn't you say he said that when it happened? She'll tell me, didn't you said he said that? You see what I'm saying? But now it's different, y'all. It's different. Things are happening. I'm going to give you an example like I did the other day. My son asked me, how you going to tell me that this issue I had wasn't already here? It just came, I told you, but you're telling me it been there. And you don't even know the issue itself. I said, how long must this child, this is my youngest son, how long must he have been with me? And the father tells me over and over, they don't know you. They don't know you. They do not know you. And do you all know that's a hurting thing? These kids were breastfed. These kids were taken care of by me. Everything. Everything. Any sports. Parents-teacher programs and meetings and all type of sports, activities. Right there. Right there in it. Enjoying it with him. And he said, when I told him, yeah, I do know it's a court. Blew his mind. How did it blow your mind when I'm always telling y'all things ahead of time? So even among them, they feel if they don't tell me, then I won't be able to see into it or see past it or see through it. So I see that going on a lot. But it doesn't erase the fact that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And he's going to show me anything that he know I'm going to end up being involved in or with. So these things happen. I'm now knowing what people are thinking. Yeah, I used to do that when I was young. He used to make me sharp, real sharp in knowing the thoughts of people. And it wasn't so much. I used to think, well, maybe they call it reading the mind. I don't know, baby. This spiritual gift is deeper than that. I can be sitting here on this platform and reading the minds. You don't even have to be in the live chat. You don't have to be nowhere. I can read the minds. And that is one of the saddest things in my life, is because I can already feel the thought pattern and the mind. So right now, I'm in the process of writing a book. I got to press this book out. My children are going to be disappointed. I don't think my siblings, my sisters and mom and them are going to be disappointed. I think they're going to be overwhelmed, because I'm going to tell it about them too. But I think they're going to be overwhelmed with it. I'm going to put that, I'm going to put everything that has taken place that the Spirit of Yah is going to suffer me to put in this book. And I've already started it. And you know the saddest thing, I wish it was some way that I could just speak it and then take it somewhere and have someone to, I think I might try that. I'm going to see if someone can do that. I speak it. Woo, boy, that'd be a lot of talking. Because I want to bring the brightest light out before I leave here. I want to bring the brightest light. I want to speak on the power of my Father in heaven. It's so bright. I want to remind my children, my ex-husband, my mom, my siblings, my friends. I want to remind them of who they thought I was and who they assumed I was. Because the beauty of it is who Yah said that I am. And like when I went to the class reunion, they were like, "Is that you? You still look like the high school reunion. Yeah. You still." Let me tell you something. Sister Deborah looked like a little old hag on these YouTubes. But Sister Deborah know how to look. You know what I do? I look the way I feel. It used to be a time, and I didn't like that either, y'all. Because there used to be a time I used to can get up, even go to work or go somewhere. And if I feel a certain way where I might not fix my hair, or might not wear certain clothes or be coordinated. Look, when I go out, I get the most attention when I'm looking the way I feel. That's why it's so important that you do you. Meaning be you, not be what the world wants you to be. Because when you think that, oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a daughter of Zion. What is a daughter of Zion if you're not who you are in the inner man? Who gives a rat behind what you look like on the outside? You see? Because what's on the inside will dictate how the outside would desire to look like. The outside, the inside to tell you, well, you don't have to wear your head wrap. That's a tradition. In this day and time, do you see? They messing with any and everything, even animals. So what do the animal need to wear? A head wrap? Do the babies need to wear a head wrap? They doing, when you hear the cries of people, since they were 2 and 3 years old, they've been messed with. And that's why they can't live a natural life today. Too much tormenting back then. Oh, I forgot. The people didn't have a head wrap on. They wasn't fully covered. Oh, she didn't have on a dress that's hitting the ground, picking up dust. This is what the Father says. He said, Deborah, they forget the inner man and they just focus on the outer man because they think they can deceive people from the outer. I said, I know, because I just couldn't see me dressing like the tradition of somebody, just like the Christian church, telling you this, you have to do this and do this and do this. Wait a minute, hold up. What you coming with all that? You see what I'm saying? And when you finish doing what they tell you to do, where are you at in your inner man? When you finish putting your fringes on and have been in full control and you're a king and a leader, but where are you at in the inner man? What are you? Or who are you? See, because he said the deceivers only can tackle the outer man. And that's all he needs to be after. Because if their inner man is not right, they're vulnerable to the one that can orchestrate their outer man. So I, Sister Deborah, say, I hope you got something out of it. It was good to me because I learn as I speak. I really do. And I give the Father all credits for that, because he always tell us anything we say, we first have to apply it to us. So while I'm speaking it, it's still yet being applied to me as well. So I thank him for that. And I will be back. So have a wonderful, blessed evening. You know, I was starting to say something about the Catholics. The computer gonna cut off now. But the this one man was trying to figure out, was all these things happening back all these years with China? And you mean they've been trafficking and organs, removing organs from people in prisons? They have those prisons so they can take all their organs from them. And everybody in the world goes to China to get a new heart, to get a new kidney. You know, wealthy people. That's where they go to get them. They can get it less than, the man said, less than 4 hours. Because it's a constant flow, and it's been going on, they said, since the 1600s. Now, the Father did allow me to see that. And when I saw it again today in a different form, where a brother was like, where have I been? They've been doing that all that. It made me realize our people have always focused on the wrong things, even to today. And this is why they cannot see and they cannot hear. Their focus is always on the wrong thing, to where when the light is on, you don't go in the direction of the light. You rather continue to be focused on what you want to be focused on. And they were doing the sex trafficking, but this country decided to take on it. And that was way back. They've been doing that a long time ago. A lot of us don't understand why and when or how he's going to do what he's going to do when he destroys. This country here has done everything that represents Satan to its highest. And it's not so much as this country. And that's where I think it's sad for us, the Hebrew Israelite and the tribe of Judah, is when we looking at the country, we looking at the way they have done us. Once we're able to see that this is also where Yah put us, and if heavens did not see the way they would end up treating us, then he would not have put us where he already seen in the heavens how they would treat us. Think now. See, we don't think that far like that. And I know Deborah, I told you, Deborah asked the Most High all kind of questions. But if If it is that we are here, which it is, then don't you understand? Before we even got over here, before heavens and earth was created, the Father seen the curse he would put upon us and how they would treat us. And as I go back into the biblical, I had an issue because I was confused with why is this creator so tuned in with the heathens? Why are you so tuned in to the heathens, Father? Something is going on. And then I found out it says the Gentiles and the heathens will believe. I'm like, so that's why you always said, and the heathens shall know. And the heathens shall know that I am. Who, and I just say, who cares who they know? Why should they know who you are? Who cares all the wicked that they done? Something to think about. You go back up in the Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, all up in there, and he said, and the heathens shall know. And the heathens shall know. I said, what's this deal with you and this heathen? See, we are taught things to have a hatred heart. We really are, because we got hate toward each other so bad. So bad. Many of them don't even know. You ain't coming in and you ain't coming out. That's how thick the hate is. But we can't, with this hate, we can't see spirit and truth of the whole matter. But I'm like, I keep seeing in here, you keep saying, and the heathens shall know that who you are. And the heathen's going to know that you are Yah. And the heathen's going to know that you are Yah. I'm saying, why do they have to know? As wicked as they are, who cares? They already know who you are. They're working for Satan. He said, no, Deborah, you missed it again. So I got a lot to learn. That's why I sit and tell y'all, don't think you know it all. Don't think you know it all. Because there's no such thing as knowing it all. So Sister Deborah says, I'll be back. Shalom and shalom.